Arts in Motion in partnership with Rolex.
Architecture is about the future. And the future is something that depends on all of us.
In 1895, the city of Venice hosted its first Biennale, an invitation to artists and designers from all over the world. It became a global melting pot of ideas, home to some of the most extraordinary installations of the last century across art, design and architecture. And in 1980, a dedicated Biennale of Architecture was established. Throughout its long history, architecture biennales have taken aim at decolonisation, social contracts, or explored how a generosity of spirit could drive the design of our infrastructure. So what questions does the architecture world need to ask itself in 2025? For this year's curator, Carlo Ratti, it was about facing a burning world and finding hope.
Architecture is about the future. When you say a project comes from Latin, is proiectus, is about looking beyond, looking forward. And so also architecture is about the future. And the future is something that depends on all of us. Architecture has engaged with climate for a long time, but so far it was mostly mitigation, how we reduce emissions. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still important, but we need to face it. Climate is changing. Large chunks of the planet cannot be insured anymore, for instance, in the US, in other countries. If you want to tackle some of these challenges, then we need to bring together different disciplines.
To me, rather than, how to make architecture, I wanted to question, what to make, why to make, it's becoming more important. We placed clay rails, which, has, plants in it, but the clay layer itself, is a 3D printed. And, it's, sometimes go out of control, because it's a natural element. But, we can also, bring, some precision, staying in the borderline, between, artificial, natural, control and uncontrolled, technology, art, those things are very important to me.
The whole installation made by wood panels are grounded on the soil because we want to rethink about our memories, our roots of the Amazon region. Everything is suspended by a structure that is in equilibrium, in balance. I think the Biennale, it's a very unique moment to get architects to rethink how we can think about nature as the whole territory and not something that is separated from human condition, but how we can preserve this, how we can be more respectful and more close to nature.
The Lebanese Pavilion is actually a fictional ministry, the Ministry of Land Intelligence. And the reason that it's a ministry is because it's a criticism on the current situation in Lebanon, the lack of state, the lack of government that is not being concerned with the issue of ecocide. We're literally starting from a situation of devastation. We are looking at strategies for healing the land, and part of these are actually related to preserving the land, preserving the natural environment, the endemic species in Lebanon, because without having this complete ecosystem, it's hard for the land to regenerate itself. When we say the land remembers, it means that the land has the memory to regenerate itself on its own. We need to reestablish our relationship with the land before we can start thinking about rebuilding.
In the light of the climate crisis, of more drought, of more floodings, of more heat waves, we have to better understand what plants do. We are animals, we think like animals, we have a hard time understanding how a plant needs to manipulate the environment. So I think, and I really hope that this better understanding of plant intelligence will allow us to make different kind of landscape outside as inside buildings.
So as you're moving through the national participation, you see again this kind of resonance. It's not about existing knowledge, it's about curating new knowledge. A chain reaction from the individual spanning the whole world.
In 2 years' time, architects will once again converge in Venice and strive to design a better future. The question is, what will the world look like then?